There is an ancient teaching that describes the soul's journey not as a simple crossing, but as a sacred passage through many thresholds. In the Egyptian mysteries, the soul does not immediately enter light. It must first move through a series of gates, mansions, and pylons, each guarded by forces that test awareness, truth, and spiritual authority. These teachings describe what happens after death, but they are also describing what happens during life. Every challenge we face can be understood as a gate. Every fear we meet is a guardian. Every realization we reach is a passage into a deeper level of consciousness. In these sacred texts, the deceased, often represented by the scribe Ani, approaches each gateway with intention, knowledge, and declaration. He does not pass silently. He speaks words of recognition. He affirms his purity. He aligns himself with divine order. This is very important, because in these mysteries, entry is not granted by begging, it is granted by resonance. The journey begins through a series of arets, or mansions, guarded by beings who hold symbolic power. Some have the heads of lions, serpents, hawks, jackals, or crocodiles. These are not random images. They represent forces within the psyche: instinct, fear, perception, memory, survival, and transformation. To pass through the first aret, the soul must recognize itself as a being of light. It must remember its origin. It must declare that it has come forth with truth. This is not ego speaking, it is essence remembering itself. The initiate is saying, "I know who I am beyond the physical form." As the journey continues, each mansion introduces new guardians and new tests. Some hold knives, some hold symbols of grain, some hold serpents or flames. These images represent the purification of different layers of the self. The knife is discernment. Grain is sustenance and karma. The serpent is transformation and hidden knowledge. Fire is purification and rebirth. There is also a strong emphasis on witnessing and judgment, not from an external tyrant, but from the law of balance. The soul must show that it has lived with awareness, that it has not caused unnecessary harm, that it has aligned itself with Ma'at, the principle of cosmic harmony and truth. The journey then moves into the pylons, which are gateway structures that represent even deeper initiations. Each pylon has a specific guardian and a specific declaration that must be spoken. The initiate is not just passing physically, they are aligning vibrationally with the frequency required to move forward. Some pylons are guarded by lion-headed deities seated in shrines, others by cow-headed or hippopotamus-formed forces. These forms represent power, nurturing, destruction of illusion, and protection of sacred boundaries. The soul must recognize these forces not as enemies, but as necessary thresholds of evolution. In several passages, the initiate declares that he has restored what was broken, gathered bones, poured water on wounds, and reunited fragmented parts. This is deeply symbolic. It shows that spiritual passage requires integration. We cannot ascend while fragmented. We must reclaim lost aspects of ourselves, our truth, our courage, our memory, our voice. Another powerful theme is the ability to speak sacred words at the right moment. These words are not magical in the superficial sense. They are affirmations of alignment. When the initiate says he knows the names of the gatekeepers, he is showing awareness of the forces operating in reality. To name something is to understand its nature, and understanding dissolves fear. As the soul moves through the 9th and 10th pylons, the language becomes more intense. There is talk of blazing fire, irresistible forces, fearsome guardians. This reflects the final confrontations with illusion and attachment. At the deepest level, the initiate must release identification with the physical world and remember the eternal nature of consciousness. These teachings also emphasize humility. Even though the initiate speaks with authority, he continually offers homage to divine intelligence. He acknowledges that passage is not achieved through personal power alone, but through harmony with universal law. At the culmination of these passages, the soul is welcomed among the gods not because it was perfect, but because it became aware, because it remembered, because it aligned itself with truth. This entire journey can be understood as a map of inner awakening. The mansions are emotional initiations, the pylons are psychological thresholds, the guardians are fears and patterns, the sacred words are the moments we choose truth over conditioning. And this is why these ancient teachings are still relevant today. They are not just describing death, they are describing transformation. They are showing us that awakening is a process of passing through many invisible gates. Every time you face uncertainty and move forward anyway, you pass a gate. Every time you reclaim your voice, you pass a gate. Every time you choose alignment over comfort, you pass a gate. The question is not whether the gates exist. The question is whether you recognize when you are standing before one. If this message resonates with you, it may be because you are already walking this path of inner initiation, and sometimes, having guidance can help you move through these thresholds with clarity instead of fear. If you feel called to understand your own soul journey, your patterns, and the gates you are currently facing, you can work with me through a one-on-one soul reading, or join our community in the Alchemical Garden, where we explore these ancient teachings in a grounded and transformative way. Follow for more teachings on spiritual symbolism, consciousness, and inner alchemy, and share this with someone who is ready to remember who they truly are.